Hello fellow crafters, welcome back to my channel, Creative Coach Lisa. I'm Lisa Fulford. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I want to welcome you. This is where I share ideas and techniques for all things crafty like cards, boxes, and bags. And so today we're going to work on this cute little box that will hold a couple of the fun size Snicker bars, or it also will hold a granola bar if you would choose to have a little bit of a healthier treat. But we will get started on this cute little box. All right. The stamp set that we're going to use today is the Frightfully Cute, and we're going to use the Batty for You and the little bat down here. And then we are using Memento ink and the classic Stampin' pad that is in basic gray. We'll be bringing in the DSP from the Cute Halloween 6x6. This is in the mini catalog that goes until December the 30th. And right now, celebration is going on until September 30th, and if you spend $50 on merchandise out of either of the annual catalog or the mini catalog, you can earn celebration items for free. If you spend $100, you could get 2 of the $50 items for free, or you could get 1 of the $100 items for free. There's no limit. So this paper is in there, the stamp set's in there, so I'm certain that if you looked, you could find plenty to purchase to get a free item. So we are also bringing in some of our basic black cardstock, the DSP, like I said, the glitter organdy ribbon. Let's see, put that off to the side. A piece of the metallic mesh ribbon, and I cut a short piece and then I cut it in half. And then this is the twine from the Pampered Pets, and all I did was untwist the pieces like this, and then I separated out. Let's see, I'll take the black and the white, separate it out, and we'll use the white today, and I'll set the black off for another project. And then we're using the layering circles, and this is the smallest scallop in Old Olive and the smallest circle in the basic white. This is the pattern of the DSP that we're going to use. We are going to use, I believe we only need 1 of those, maybe I'll set this just in case. One that is 1 inch by 4.5, and then 2 pieces that are 3/4 inch by 4.5, and then 2 more pieces that are 3/4 inch by 1 inch. Our piece of black, basic black cardstock, it has been scored on the portrait side. Let's see, it was scored at 7/8 of an inch, 1 7/8 of an inch, 3 1/8 of an inch, and at 4 1/8, and that's a 5-inch side. On the 8-inch side, we scored at 5/8, 1 5/8, 6 3/8, and 7 3/8. So I don't know if you can see that. Oh, here we go. All right, so on the 8-inch side, 5/8, 1 5/8, 6 3/8, 7 3/8, and then when we turn it like this, this is the 5-inch side. We scored it at 7/8, 1 7/8, 3 1/8, and 4 1/8. Okay, so we need to do some scoring and some cutting. So I'm going to, or we've already scored, we're going to burnish. Fold on the lines. Okay, so now that we can see all the lines and all the places. All right, so here is a template of what it will look like. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to cut straight up on each one of these lines. We want to cut through the first score line and stop at the second score line. So here's the first one we cut through, and this one we stopped at. And we're going to do that on each one of these score lines. Like that. And like that. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is turn it sideways, and this one here we're going to cut away completely. So on that second score line we're going to cut up, and that will be gone completely. On the second tab we're going to cut away this first little tab. So on that first score line we're going to skip the third one, and on the fourth one we're going to cut away on that first score line. And on this last one, we're going to cut away completely. So I have the large tab with 2 tabs on it, and then the 2 that are stepped in, each one of those are there. And then we're going to take and we're notching. We're going to notch this out just a little bit. It makes the box close a little nicer, and just an ever so small amount of notching. So like that. And we're going to do the same here. Okay. Then on this one end, not the whole thing, just the little tab on the end, we're going to notch that just a little bit. There we go. So that is what this end will look like. And then we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do the same thing on this end. We're going to cut on each score line. Clear to that second score line. We're going to cut on this one to the second score line. And we're going to do that each time. Just like that. Then we're going to turn it, and this first one, we cut the entire thing away. On the second one, we just cut this little tab away on the end. The third one we skip completely. The fourth one, we cut the little tab away. And the last one, we cut it away completely. All I did was turn the paper so it'd be closer to me. And then we're going to tab these on the end too. We're gonna like just cut a little bit away. Like that. And then on this end, just that little end tab, not the center tab. There's a little bit of something hanging there, so I'm going to trim that off. So that is our box. It looks like our pattern. Okay, so let me clean this up. All right. So now then, we're going to add our DSP, and it is directional, and we want it all going in the same direction. So, and then the last two, we will do those in a moment. So the larger piece goes in the center of the box. So I'm going to bring in some liquid glue. And basically, I'm just going to add some down the center. And then I can kind of slide it around where I want it. We're going to add some liquid glue to those. And we're going to now add our paper here and slide it into place where I want it. If I use liquid glue, I can slide it exactly where I want it. If I put the tear tape down or use the Stampin' Seal, once it's there, it's there. So slide this around, put it there. Okay, so now then for our little tabs, I want down here at the bottom, I want the piece for the haunted house to be upright. That. And then over here, I want it to be upside down so that whenever you're opening the box, it will be right side up. Just like that. Okay. So now it's time to put our box together. So our box will come together like this, but I want these edges a little bit rounded. So I'm going to bring in my punch, and I'm going to fold these back. I'm going to slide this into position. Punch. Slide it in this way. And punch. Oh, I didn't quite get in there right. Like that. And then I'm going to bring this one around. I don't think it's, because it's giving on this, I don't think it's doing a very good job. There we go. I'll just trim that little bit off at the end. There we go. And then on one of the edges, I need to round. And this will be my outside edge. So only one of the outside panels do I need to punch. Like that. Alright, so I rounded the corners of the end pieces, and then I rounded the edge of the side panel. Only one of them needs rounded. Okay, so on this, I'm going to take my tear tape and add it to the very edge of that straight edge. This is the edge that's not been rounded. Take your pick tool with the paper piercer on the end. I'm going to lift that. I'm going to add another little piece because I didn't quite get it long enough. I want it to be good and adhered. The length of it. So I'll lift. All right. So then I want to bring it together. And put my little tabs inside, like this. And then also bring these little tabs together. I just want to make certain my box gets squared up. Bring that together like that. And I have these in on each end. And then I'm going to put it together. I'll pop these little tabs out. It doesn't lay completely flat. So it's like that. And then close this back up. Bring in a couple of the fun size Snickers. So 2 of them will fit in there nicely, like that. Close out my box. And then we'll bring in our ribbon. Oh, I guess we need to stamp our, we'll wait for that for just a moment. We need to stamp our sentiment. All right, so with the Memento ink, I want to use the stamp. Baddie for you. Lightly ink it up. And then in the center, and then for the bats, I want to use the basic gray. So I want them to appear dark, but I don't want them to be so dark we can't read the body for you. So I want to ink it up, make certain it all gets inked up, stamp off. Wait a minute, I have a halo there. So lightly ink it up, stamp off, and onto the thing. Stamp off, and onto there. Stamp off, and onto there. Stamp off, and right there. And that's all the stamping that we're doing. Okay, so we're going to attach that using our seal. And it'll barely have a little bit of that olive green around it. I'm gonna bring in my mat and use the end of my tool and pierce a hole. Okay, now we can bring this up. I'm going to twist this back together, being as I untwisted it to pull it from the black thread. And I'm going to put it through the opening. I found that if you have a pair of tweezers that have a very pointy end, you can grab a hold of the thread and pull it through. That works wonders. Loop the ends through. Like that. And then I want to tie a knot in the end. This works great for that too. These came from Amazon. I love those. Trim off the little threads. All right. Open them up. We're going to wrap this around the top of the box. We're going to crisscross like that. I want to put down the mesh and then put the ribbon through the threads of the tag. So just kind of like that. And then another thing that this is good for is to hold your ribbon in place while you tie. And so everything's tied together. So I got this little bit of that metallic ribbon going through. That's tied as a tag hanging off. We'll trim this off. And there you go. There is our little treat box that will hold 2 of the fun Snicker bars, or it'll hold a full granola bar. One of these Quaker Chewy dips. We have these on hand all the time with my family, so I'm certain there are other things that would fit into this box. And so I will try to put the maybe try to get a pattern put on in the description of the video. I will try. But there you go. There are our cute little treat boxes. So this is our week 10 for our countdown to Halloween. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.